When I was 16, I came home from school to find my college fund empty and a note on the kitchen table. My parents had taken every penny, $47,000, to bail out my older brother's failed business. The note just said, "Family helps family. You'll understand someday." I didn't understand. I was furious. They promised they'd pay me back before college. They said my brother's new venture would succeed and I'd get double. But 6 months later, when I asked about it, my dad got defensive. "You're being selfish," he said. "Your brother needed help. That's what we do." I stopped talking to them about college. I stopped talking to them about much of anything. Senior year, while my friends celebrated their acceptance letters and talked about dorms, I worked 2 jobs. Mornings at a coffee shop, evenings at a grocery store. I slept maybe 5 hours a night. My grades dropped from As to BS. My friends stopped inviting me out because I was always working. My guidance counselor called my parents, concerned. They told her I was being dramatic, and that plenty of students work through college. I applied to every scholarship I could find. Wrote hundreds of essays. Got rejected from most. But slowly, painfully, I scraped together enough for community college. My brother, meanwhile, started another business with more money from my parents. This one failed too. I didn't go to my high school graduation. I couldn't sit there and pretend everything was fine while my parents smiled for photos. I picked up my diploma from the office the next day. Community college was hard, but I was good at hard. I worked full-time, took maximum credits, and transferred to a state university after 2 years. No help. No family money. Just me and my exhausted determination. My parents didn't call when I got my acceptance letter to university. I didn't tell them. Junior year of university, I met Professor Chen. She saw something in me, maybe she saw how tired I was, how hungry to prove myself. She offered me a research position. Paid. It wasn't much, but it meant I could quit one of my jobs. She became a mentor. Wrote recommendation letters. Pushed me to apply for a prestigious graduate program. I got in. Full scholarship. Stipend. Everything. The day I found out, I sat in my tiny apartment and cried for an hour. Not sad tears. Something else. Relief, maybe. Or proof that I'd done it. That I'd survived. I called my parents to tell them. First time we'd really talked in almost 3 years. "That's wonderful, sweetheart," my mom said. Her voice cracked. "We always knew you could do it." I almost laughed. Almost screamed. Instead, I said, "No, you didn't." But I did. My dad got on the phone. "We want to come to your graduation. We want to make things right." "There's nothing to make right," I said. "You made your choice." I made mine. "Please," my mom said. "We made a mistake. We see that now. Your brother, things didn't work out for him. We should have protected your future." I thought about hanging up. I thought about all those nights working until my feet ached, all those times I stuttered in my car between shifts because I didn't have time to go home. "I don't need you to protect my future," I said. I already did that. Myself. They showed up anyway. To my master's graduation. Sat in the audience holding flowers and a card. When I walked across that stage, hood draped over my shoulders, diploma earned entirely on my own terms, I didn't look for them. I looked at Professor Chen, who was clapping like she'd won something herself. After the ceremony, my parents found me. The card had a check inside. $50,000. More than they'd taken. "We sold the house," my dad said. "Downsized. We want you to have this. For your PhD, or whatever you want." I looked at that check for a long time. Then I tore it up. "I don't want your money," I said. "I wanted you to believe in me when it mattered. I wanted you to choose me when I was 16 and terrified. But you didn't. So I chose myself." My mom was crying. "We're sorry. We're so sorry." "I know you are," I said. And I meant it. I could see their regret, real and painful. But sorry doesn't give me back those years. Sorry doesn't erase working myself sick. Sorry doesn't change the fact that when I needed you most, you weren't there. My brother wasn't at graduation. Hadn't spoken to me in years. Last I heard, he was working retail, still living with our parents' expectations that he'd be something he wasn't. I felt sorry for him too. "I need you to understand something," I told my parents. I did this without you. Not to spite you, but because I had no choice. And in doing it, I learned I don't need anyone to save me. I can save myself. What are we supposed to do? My dad asked. How do we fix this? I thought about it. Really thought about it. You don't fix it, I said. You live with it. You live with knowing you broke your daughter's trust for someone who wasn't willing to work as hard as she did. And maybe, someday, if you actually change, not just say you're sorry, but actually change, we can build something new. But it won't ever be what it was. Can we try? My mom asked. I looked at them. Middle-aged, smaller somehow than I remembered. Human. Flawed. Sorry. Maybe, I said. But on my terms. And I'll never forget that I made it out without you. I walked away from that graduation with my degree, my dignity, and the knowledge that the only person I could ever truly count on was myself. 5 years later, I'm finishing my PhD. My parents and I talk sometimes. Birthdays, holidays. It's cordial. Sometimes even warm. But there's a distance that never quite closes, a scar that never quite fades. My brother finally apologized last year. Said he was ashamed of how things went down. I told him I forgave him, and I meant it. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. The thing nobody tells you about betrayal is that surviving it changes you. Hardens something inside you. Makes you both stronger and sadder. I don't regret who I became. I'm proud of the woman who refused to break, who worked herself to the bone, who bet everything on herself and won. But sometimes, late at night, I grieve for the 16-year-old girl who should have been able to trust her parents. Who should have been able to dream about college without calculating how many hours she'd need to work. That girl deserved better. So I live my life making sure she got her happy ending anyway. And I did it myself.